This is part 3 of my Korean military meal series. You can check out my breakfast and lunch menus right here. Okay, so far we've seen some of the better military meals. But like I said, we've had some pretty lousy meals too, especially dinners for some reason. So today I'll recreate some of the worst dishes I've had in the Korean army, and we'll try to make them taste a little better than they were. And we can start off with 해물비빔소스, which was a red, weirdly sweet gloop of tasteless seafood in a can. Well, we can start off by not using a can opener. For 2 portions, I'll take 5 or 6 scallops and shrimps. Thaw them in cold running water and cut into small cubes. Take 1 spring onion and thinly slice. This is a riff on nakji볶음, which is a classic Korean stir-fry of fiery baby octopus. Mix 1 tablespoon of gochujang, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and Korean chili powder, a sprinkling of pepper, and 1 tablespoon each of minced garlic and honey. Pour in half a tablespoon of oil in a pan and fry your seafood first. To remove any potential fishiness, you can also pour in a small drizzle of wine or mirin. When it turns slightly pale like that, pour in the sauce and cook for just another minute or so. We don't want to overcook the seafood here. Just before serving, drizzle in a little sesame oil, and that's it. Mind you, this should be a little too spicy to eat by itself. After all, this is a mixing sauce for rice. But oh no, this is not the end of our seafood medley. Much like in a mid-range buffet, fish was usually the worst dishes in the army, including this fried mackerel. In Korean, it's 고등어순살튀김, or 고순튀 for short. So I know mackerel is hard to find, so you can use salmon since they're both oily. Just take your fillet of fish and coat generously in some cornstarch. Pour in a couple tablespoons of veggie oil in a pan and fry on medium heat, skin side down, for about 3 to 4 minutes. When the skin looks golden and crispy like that, flip it over and cook for another 3 minutes. Oh, by the way, make sure you turn on your stove fan, or your entire house will smell like a fish market. When the bottom is golden too, we're done. What you should do is eat it straight away when the skin is still crispy and the fish tender. But for that authentic army experience, leave it out for at least 10 minutes and serve it lukewarm and flabby. And finally, a shitty soup steeped in generational trauma. No, I'm not kidding. The nickname for this soup is tteokguk, or soup. Basically, it's so thinned out and bland that it tastes like, well, you know. Actually, this goes way back when Korea was still a country in poverty and couldn't feed its soldiers properly. Some might say they're still not feeding them well. Anyhow, commonly this soup has a couple of thin potato slices and a few strands of enoki mushrooms, which we can definitely improve upon. So for 3 portions, I'm using 1 box of these assorted mushrooms and 2 medium potatoes. Peel your potato and slice into thin half moons, which you can soak in cold water to rinse out any excess starch. The mushrooms you just wash well and tear with your hands. The big ones can be cut into strips. But before anything, a good Korean soup always begins with a good stock. And the traditional stock of choice is made with dried anchovies. These days, they also sell these stock packets which save you the trouble of buying and cleaning anchovies, so I'm using one of these. If you can't find this, you can use Japanese dashi stock powder, which will have an added smokiness because of the bonito flakes. Either way, just follow packet instructions, which in my case meant adding about 3 cups of water per packet. After that, you can discard the packet and throw in your chopped up veggies, fungi for the pedants, and cook for another 5. Finally, stir in a generous tablespoon of doenjang, or Korean soybean paste, and pray the soup won't taste like shit. I mean, it will when you skimp on ingredients, which we didn't. Phew. This is the last time I'm eating out of one of these plates. And when you just make small portions with some TLC, these dishes aren't bad at all. The seafood sauce is sweet and salty with a fiery kick, the mackerel is oily and crispy, and the soup is rich in umami, and who am I kidding? Let's go to the PX and get some frozen dumplings or something.